Instructor Grix's mid-strike demonstration froze as the metallic screech cut through the weapons hall. The human was folding the reinforced desk into a club. "Stop!" Grix's crystalline form vibrated with alarm, limbs dropping the training blade. "Cadet, step away from that equipment immediately!" Iris glanced up from her work, hands still gripping the bent titanium.
"Oh, sorry. Did you need this? I can unfold it when I'm done."
"Unfold it?" Grix's voice climbed an octave.
That's a combat-grade desk, rated for starship hull integrity." "Right, but I needed something with reach."
Iris gave the metal another casual twist, compacting it further.
"The assignment said improvised weapons, and I'm marked as unarmed, so—"
The desk, 30 kilograms of reinforced alloy designed to withstand orbital bombardment, groaned as she folded it again. Like paper. Like it wasn't certified to resist plasma cutters. Grix slammed a hand against the emergency call panel. "Command, we have a critical incident in Training Hall 9. The human just—" The words died as Iris tested the weight of her creation, now a dense club roughly a meter long.
"This should work." She looked at Grix hopefully. "Is this okay for the practical exam?"
"Okay!" Grix's entire body flickered between colors indicating distress. "You just reshaped combat-certified titanium composite with your bare hands."
"Well, yeah, it's just metal."
Iris set the improvised weapon down carefully.
"Am I in trouble? I didn't mean to break anything."
The training hall doors burst open. 3 senior instructors rushed in, followed by the weapons master herself, a hulking Draxian whose species were the galaxy's premier metallurgists. Weapons Master Zilix stopped dead, her 6 eyes fixed on the twisted desk. "Impossible." "That's what I said," Grix gestured frantically. "She just bent it." Zilix moved closer, circling the improvised club. Her clawed hand reached out, touching the compressed metal. "This alloy requires 15,000 newtons of force to deform. Specialized hydraulic presses, molecular destabilizers." She looked at Iris. "Show me your tools." Iris held up her hands. "Just these?" "Unacceptable." Zilix pulled out a scanner, running it over the metal. "There must be a hidden device. Chemical catalyst. Something." The scanner beeped negative. Again. And again. "I grew up in a metalworking shop," Iris offered, trying to be helpful. "My family does custom fabrication. This is easier than some of the orders we'd get. At least this metal's uniform." "Uniform?" Zilix's voice went quiet. Dangerously quiet. "You're saying you could do this with other materials?" "Sure. I mean, if I understand how it bends." Iris noticed the growing crowd of instructors. "Is this about the unarmed designation? Because technically I'm not carrying weapons into—" "Get the commandant," Zilix cut across her words. "Now, and bring the materials science team." She turned back to Iris, all 6 eyes. "Wide. Cadet, I need you to not touch anything else. Nothing. Do you understand?" "Okay." Iris shifted uncomfortably. "But just so I know, am I failing this exercise?" Grix made a sound somewhere between a laugh and a sob. "Failing? You just weaponized a desk that's supposed to survive starship combat." "The file said she was unarmed." Zilix stared at the bent titanium. The file was wrong. Catastrophically wrong. Iris looked at her makeshift club, then back at the panicking instructors. "So, is that a pass?" Commandant Velix arrived with an entourage of materials scientists, each carrying equipment that supposedly couldn't be damaged by conventional means. "Test her on this." The commandant placed a training staff on the floor, solid durasteel core used for teaching leverage techniques. "This alloy is 3 times harder than what she already bent." Iris picked it up, turned it over in her hands. "Nice balance. Little heavy for a staff, though." She gripped both ends and twisted. The metal spiraled like taffy. "Oh, like blacksmithing back home," she commented, continuing the twist. "We'd do this to create decorative railings.
You just have to feel where the grain wants to go. A materials engineer dropped his data pad. Grain? That's a molecular lattice structure. There is no grain. Sure there is. Iris held up the now spiral staff. Everything has a pattern. You just work with it instead of against it. She demonstrated by pulling the spiral back straight, then bending it into a hook shape. See? The metal remembers where it's been. Memories? Grix's voice cracked. Metal doesn't have memory. Shape memory, yeah. Most alloys do. Iris looked confused by their reactions. Did you guys not know that? Velix's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation. Bring the military-grade samples, all of them. Over the next 20 minutes, Iris reshaped. A blast shield rated for direct plasma hits, folded into a small disc. Chain links from a starship tow cable, straightened, then braided. A hull plate from a decommissioned warship, compressed into a dense cube. Each time, she chatted casually about technique while the gathered scientists' calculations proved what she was doing violated known physics. The force requirements, Engineer Nix gestured at his floating display. You'd need a hydraulic press generating 50,000 newtons minimum. Her grip strength readings show maybe 800 newtons. It's impossible. Maybe your measurements are off? Iris suggested helpfully, currently bending what used to be a reinforced door hinge. I'm not that good, honestly. My brother could do this way faster. Your brother? Velix leaned forward. There are more humans with this capability? Well, yeah. Anyone who's worked with metal. Iris paused. Wait, can other species not do this? Grix grabbed the bent hull plate, all four arms straining. The metal didn't budge. Show her, Grix gasped. One by one, representatives
from different species attempted to reshape the materials. The Draxians, the galaxy's strongest race, used their full body weight. Nothing. The Quilax tried their crushing mandibles. Not even a scratch. The crystalline Vix attempted molecular manipulation. Zero effect. Iris watched with growing concern. Oh, should I not have been doing this? Your species designation said minimal physical threat. Velix's voice rose. Combat effectiveness rating of 3 out of 10. Unarmed and harmless. Right, because I don't carry weapons. Iris gestured at the pile of reshaped military-grade materials. But you said improvised weapons were part of the curriculum. Improvised from available materials, yes. Velix's antennae quivered. Not improvised by reshaping materials that shouldn't be reshapeable. Nix's calculations scrolled faster across his display. Commandant, if her baseline abilities are this far beyond our predictions... He looked up, voice tight. Our entire threat assessment system is based on the assumption that solid matter requires tools to manipulate, that physical strength has calculable limits. And humans just ignore those limits? Grix asked quietly. I mean, we evolved doing this. Iris picked up the compressed hull plate cube. Shaping stone, then metal, then composites. It's kind of our thing. How did you guys build, well, everything, if you can't work materials? The silence that followed was deafening. Tools, Velix finally said. We use tools. Energy-based manufacturing. Molecular assemblers. Huh. Iris looked at her hands. That seems complicated. Why not just bend it? Because, Nix whispered, staring at his impossible calculations. We can't. Velix ordered the training hall cleared of all cadets except Iris. Within minutes, the Academy's top material science team assembled, along with combat doctrine specialists and 3 members of the Galactic Defense Council. "Explain," Velix commanded. "From the beginning. How does your species do this?" Iris sat on one of the few remaining undeformed pieces of furniture. "Okay, so humans have been shaping metal for thousands of years. Started with copper, then bronze, iron, steel. We just kept figuring out how to work harder materials." "Thousands of years?" Nix's display flickered. "Of manual manipulation?" "Yeah. Blacksmithing, forging, casting." Iris picked up the bent training staff. "Like this. You don't fight the metal. You find the stress points." She indicated a section. "Here, the molecular bonds are already under tension from the manufacturing process. You apply pressure perpendicular to the grain." She demonstrated, and the staff bent smoothly. "See? The metal wants to move this way." "Wants to?" Grix echoed. "It's not sentient," Iris laughed. "It's just physics. Every material has weak points, stress patterns, directions it prefers to deform. Tension, compression, shear, torsion. You learn to feel them." She stood, walking to a
support beam. This beam, for example. Her hand traced along it. The welds here create a heat-affected zone. Grain structure changed. If I needed to break it, she gripped and twisted. The beam buckled exactly where she'd indicated. Leverage plus understanding equals manipulation. A defense council member spoke, voice strained. "You're saying this is learned knowledge, not a biological advantage?" "Both, I guess," Iris shrugged. "We've got decent grip strength and joint flexibility, but mostly it's technique, understanding how materials behave under different forces." "Show us more," Velix insisted. Iris moved through the training hall, explaining as she worked. She compressed a chair into a dense baton while discussing compressive forces, pulled apart interlocking panels while describing shear stress, created a shield from a wall panel while explaining load distribution. "Any joining point is a weak point," she narrated, separating a supposedly seamless desk joint. "Different materials expand at different rates, so composite structures always have vulnerabilities. And if something's designed to be rigid," she snapped a reinforcement strut, "it sacrifices flexibility, which makes it brittle under the right force application." The scientists recorded everything, their displays filling with data that contradicted centuries of material science understanding. "This explains so much," Nix muttered, pulling up historical records. "Why every species developed energy weapons, plasma, lasers, particle beams. We couldn't manipulate solid matter effectively, so we bypassed it entirely." "Wait!" Grix's crystalline structure flickered. "Our entire weapons development history exists because we lack this capability?" "It appears so." Velix watched Iris create a spear from a door frame. "We thought energy weapons were the evolutionary endpoint, the most advanced option." "They're really cool," Iris offered. "Just seems inefficient if you've got perfectly good materials right here." She gestured at the training hall. "I mean, I could arm myself from literally anything in this room." "Demonstrate," a defense council member demanded. Iris spent the next 10 minutes creating weapons from increasingly unlikely sources. A ventilation grate became throwing blades. Lighting fixtures became clubs. Floor panels became shields. Each transformation accompanied by casual explanation of leverage points, stress concentration, and material properties. "You're saying any human could do this?" Velix asked quietly. "Well, yeah, with the right technique. It's just leverage and knowing where the weak points are." Iris paused. "Some humans specialize. Construction workers, mechanics, artists. But basic material manipulation? That's pretty standard." The Commandant looked at the Defense Council members. "Our combat doctrine assumes weapons are manufactured objects that can be removed, creating unarmed status. But if humans can weaponize their environment," Grix trailed off. "Then humans are never truly unarmed," Nix finished. They're standing in an armory. Always. Iris glanced around at the reshaped training hall.
Is that bad? I really didn't mean to cause problems.
Problems? Velix's laugh was hollow.
Cadet, you just made our entire military classification system obsolete. Oh. Iris bit her lip. So, is that a pass or a fail? Bring every human cadet to the main auditorium, Velix ordered. Now.
Within the hour, all 38 human students at the Academy gathered, confused and worried. Iris gave them an apologetic wave.
Cadets, Velix addressed them. We need to understand the full scope of human capabilities. Each of you, demonstrate material manipulation using items in this room.
The humans exchanged uncertain glances.
It's okay, Iris called out. Apparently what we think is normal is not.
What followed shattered every remaining assumption. Nyla, former construction worker, approached a structural column.
Back home, we demo buildings.
She examined the joints, then struck specific points in sequence. The column separated into 3 clean sections.
It's about understanding load paths. Hit the right spots in the right order, and structures just come apart.
Dax, mechanic, disassembled a supposedly sealed ventilation unit with his bare hands.
Machines have tolerances, gaps. You just need to know where they are.
He reassembled it differently.
Now it's a projectile launcher. Basic pneumatics.
Bella, sculptor, took a smooth wall panel and somehow coaxed intricate shapes from it.
Metal has memory and flow. You don't force it, you convince it.
The panel became a complex interlocking shield system.
Same principle as clay, just slower.
Quinn, electrical engineer, examined the lighting fixtures.
Anything with current has exploitable properties.
She reconfigured the components.
Now this channels energy in a very different way.
Each human worked differently. Construction techniques, mechanical knowledge, artistic intuition, engineering principles. But all achieved the impossible. They reshaped materials that required industrial equipment to process. They weaponized their environment through understanding that seemed instinctive.
They're not just strong,
Nix breathed, recording everything.
They're environmental engineers. Their entire species evolved to reshape their surroundings. Soft matter manipulators, another scientist added. While we developed energy projection, they developed material manipulation. 2 completely different evolutionary paths.
Velix pulled up the Academy's combat simulation database.
Run scenario Beta 9. Standard boarding action. Give the human cadets access to the environment as potential weaponry.
The simulation loaded. A generic starship corridor, standard layout. The human team deployed. The results were catastrophic. For the opposing force. The humans didn't fight conventionally. They reshaped the corridor itself.
Wall panels became shields and blades. Support beams became clubs. Door frames became spears. The floor became unstable terrain for enemies, but stable for them. They knew exactly where the weak points were.
Simulation time, 38 seconds. Enemy casualties, 100%. Human casualties, 0.
Run it again, Velix demanded. Different scenario.
Planetary defense. The humans fortified their position by reshaping the entire building structure, creating elevated positions, kill zones, and escape routes from materials that supposedly couldn't be modified without heavy equipment. Ship combat. The humans boarded enemy vessels and weaponized the ships themselves,
turning corridors into traps and systems into hazards. Every scenario, every environment. The humans won by treating their surroundings as an infinite armory. Enough! Velix terminated the simulations. The Defense Council members looked shaken. Recommendation, Grix said quietly. Remove the unarmed designation from all human files. Not sufficient, a council member replied. Classification update required. Humans are environmentally armed, extreme threat level. New combat protocols, another added. Human engagement zones must be cleared of all manipulable materials. Impossible, Nix interjected. Everything is manipulable to them. Walls, floors, air circulation systems, they'll find a way. Then we need training. Velix looked at the assembled humans who were chatting among themselves, unaware of the paradigm collapse happening around them. A new course, Human Environmental Combat Dynamics, taught by humans for everyone else. To teach other species their techniques? Grix asked. No. We lack their intuitive understanding and physical capability. Velix's mandibles clicked decisively. To teach everyone else how to survive when fighting alongside or against humans, because our entire military doctrine just became obsolete. The Defense Council began drafting new regulations, new protocols, new everything. In the auditorium, Iris raised her hand. So, does this mean we passed the weapons qualification? Velix looked at her, then at the reshaped training hall, the broken simulations, the rewritten combat doctrines. Cadet, the Commandant said wearily, you've redefined what armed means. Yes, you passed. 3 weeks later, Iris stood before a class of mixed-species cadets, a selection of metal samples arranged before her. Okay, so leverage is about multiplying force through distance. She demonstrated on a reinforced bar, bending it smoothly. You want the fulcrum here. Apply pressure here. The alien students attempted to replicate her movements. Claws slipped. Grips faltered. Crystalline limbs couldn't achieve the necessary angles. The Draxian, strongest species present, managed to create a slight dent after enormous effort. It's okay, Iris encouraged. Humans have specific joint structures and grip mechanics. You're working with
Different anatomy. Then what's the point? A frustrated Quilax cadet demanded. Understanding what we can do, Iris replied. So you know what to expect in the field. And maybe how to counter it if you need to. Behind her, Academy engineers examined wall panels made from experimental alloys, quantum-locked molecular structures, self-healing composites, adaptive materials. Iris had bent them all within an hour of installation. There are no human-proof materials, one engineer muttered. They understand matter itself. Class dismissed. Iris headed for her next session. She paused at a door, noticing the frame had warped slightly, probably from yesterday's decompression drill. She gripped the bent section and straightened it with a casual pull, continuing on without breaking stride. In the Commandant's office, Velix reviewed security footage. The screen showed Iris in the shipyard, needing to reach an upper access port. She'd taken a discarded hull plate, military-grade starship armor, and folded it into a functional ladder in under 2 minutes. We built our ships out of their crafting materials, Velix said to nobody. Every vessel, every station, every structure in the galaxy. It's all just raw materials to them. The official Galactic Council memo arrived that afternoon. Species classification update. Humans. Previous designation. Minimal physical threat. Unarmed capability. Revised designation. Maximum environmental threat level. Combat status. Humans are never unarmed. Amendment. Humans are the arms. Recommendation. When encountering humans in contested situations, assume everything within reach has become a weapon, including the reach itself.
Somewhere in the Academy halls, Iris absently reshaped a bent locker door while discussing lunch plans. Completely unaware, she'd just revolutionized galactic warfare doctrine. The metal sang under her hands, doing exactly what it was asked, just like it always had.